fun lab video that I have to do for culinary today, and we are going to be making some biscuits. But first off, we need to learn how to make these biscuits, okay? So right here, I have the document right here that explains the we're learning about quick breads right now, and then we're gonna make the biscuits. We will be reviewing this recipe. So let's go. We are doing a vlog type video. So we are at Sam's Club right now, shopping for some ingredients for future videos. Alright guys, we got all of the chewy bars loaded up. And I'm gonna finish shopping and then we'll make the biscuit recipe. Hey guys. Before we go make the amazing biscuit recipe, we are currently at K-Pot, the best hot pot place by Creole. We got all this amazing food. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Amazing quality. It's called Hot Pot. You can cook your own food, and it's really amazing. Hey guys, what is up? I just got back from K-Pot and we are gonna make the amazing biscuit recipe that we were given. So here I got all the ingredients and all that stuff. Let me just focus it. Alright, here are all the ingredients. We have to get half a cup of butter, a tablespoon of sugar, 2 1/4 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, 21, I'm pretty sure that's half a teaspoon of baking powder, and then 1 1/4 cup of buttermilk, and then half teaspoon of baking soda. Then we're gonna follow all these directions and we are gonna grate ourselves at the end. So let's get started with this recipe. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is 2.5. That's 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, so we gotta make sure we got our mise en place, everything measured out, everything prepared. As you can see, got our mise en place, everything in place, safety, proper use of equipment, sanitation, making sure that we clean as we go, measuring, making sure we measure things properly, and proper dress. And then standardized recipe, and then professionalism. So let's go complete the stuff. All right, so let's get baking. All right guys, let's go. As you can see, I have my chef hat on, I have my chef coat on, and we are ready to start baking in our kitchen. So let's go. All right guys, first off with this biscuit recipe, be sure to sanitize your workstation first. After you have been done sanitizing it, we are gonna gather our tools that we're gonna need. So get yourself a sifter, a dry measuring set, and also a liquid measuring set. And we're also gonna need a few bowls. So first, we're gonna measure our buttermilk, and we are gonna get 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. And to make sure you measure this accurately, go eye level with the measuring cup, and once you hit the red line, that's pretty much accurate. Next, we got our salt, and we are gonna measure out half a teaspoon of salt, and we are also gonna measure out our baking soda and baking powder in this bowl. So go ahead and use a pallet knife or whatever you got and level it off completely. We're also going to do a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and we are going to do 2.5 teaspoons of baking soda. And with the buttermilk, you want to either put it in a refrigerator or a freezer and keep it nice and chill before we use it. You could use the thing inside the baking powder can, or you could just use your palette knife. After you have been done measuring it, just give it a quick stir with your knife. Now we are gonna grate our butter, and I previously frozen this stick of butter overnight, and we're just gonna use half a cup of butter for this. So go ahead and grate it nice and slowly at your own pace, and be sure not to hurt yourself. Once it gets down to a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, be sure to go really slow so you don't slice your fingers into the grater and get your finger skin in the biscuit recipe. Just go ahead and be careful, and once you start getting down there, just go at your own pace. Don't rush it. And we are going to get a pallet knife and clean the inside of our grater and not waste any butter. So just go ahead and scrape everything in the grater, and be sure to put the bowl of butter in your freezer because we want to keep everything super cold while we make this recipe. Once you have cleaned it up, we are going to measure out some flour that I've previously frozen overnight as well. So we are going to measure out 2¼ cups of flour total, and do 1 cup at a time into the sifter. Just go ahead and do my technique, and this will provide the most accurate measurement. Go ahead and sift it, and as you can see, the clumps get bigger, and this is what we're trying to prevent in our biscuit recipe because we do not want clouds of flour in our biscuits. Or pockets of flour in our biscuits. Just go ahead and measure it accurately and do your 1/4 cup. As you get those lumps, just push it in with your fingers and it'll be just okay. Once you have finished sifting the flour, just go ahead and sift your other dry ingredients as well. Depending on the salt you're using, it may not go through the sifter, so just dump it right into the mixture and stir it around and make sure it is well combined with the other dry ingredients. Alright, now I just pulled this butter out of the freezer and we are going to combine it with our dry ingredient mixture. So just go ahead and cut in the fat with the fork and be sure not to fully combine the butter and flour together. We want pockets of butter in our biscuit recipe so it will rise in the oven. This will help create the leavening process within our biscuit recipe. So go ahead and just mix it around with a fork until it resembles like a cornmeal type consistency. Once it is done, just create like a little well in the middle, and we are going to pour in our buttermilk over here. Just go ahead and pour your chilled buttermilk and just start combining it slowly with your fork. Just go with my technique, and once it is mixed well enough, we are going to start using our hands and knead it in the bowl, and we are going to transfer it onto a silicone mat soon with some flour on it and finish the kneading process over there. Alright, after you are done mixing the ingredients in your bowl for around 2 to 3 minutes, we are gonna do a 1-minute kneading process on our silicone mat. So pour out any flour that hasn't been combined yet and start kneading your biscuit dough for about a minute. Do not over mix it or else it will become too chewy. Just go ahead and knead it until it is a nice smooth ball, and we are gonna flour it up and roll it into a 1-inch thick piece of dough. Just go ahead and flour both sides so the rolling pin does not stick, and you are aiming for an 1-inch thick dough slab. Alright, once your dough is rolled out, get yourself a half sheet pan, and we're going to start cutting our biscuits and putting it on the sheet pan. So I am using a small mason jar for this, but you can go ahead and use anything else that is round shape and can cut the biscuits out of the dough. So So just go ahead and create as many biscuits as possible with this piece of dough. And once you can't make any more, just go ahead and reknead it for around 30 seconds. Roll it out again and you can use it again. So just repeat this process until you run out of dough basically. Once again, just go ahead and reknead your dough and do not waste your dough because you can make many more biscuits. Alright, as you're putting the biscuits on the tray, just make sure you leave 1 to 2 inches of room for each biscuit so they don't hit each other when being baked. Now go ahead and make a simple egg wash. I'm just doing an egg. Water is truly optional. You could do what you want. And just go ahead and make sure you beat it very well. And I'm going to be using a pastry brush and brushing each biscuit very lightly with the egg wash. After you are done putting the egg wash on the biscuits, make sure your oven is preheated at 430 degrees and we are going to bake it for around 13 minutes. Just put it right in and we will turn it halfway. And look how much it has risen so far. I'm just going to increase the heat to 450 because it hasn't browned enough yet at halfway mark. And look how gorgeous these biscuits look. They have a perfect cream white side look and they are perfectly golden brown on top. Look how delicious these look. Next, we are going to put them on a cooling rack and evenly space them out and let them cool for around 5 to 10 minutes before we try one. Alright guys, we just finished the biscuit recipe. Look how amazing it looks. We got a nice golden front, we got a nice golden back, and we got a nice cream colored side. Well, hold on. Look at it. It is nice and colored right. We got the nice cream colored side. So let's give it a taste test. So we're gonna open it and look how flaky it is. Nice and moist. You can definitely put something in there like a jam or butter. Nice recipe. Overall, 8 out of 10. Could use more salt, could use more flavor, but it's pretty good. Well, that was it. Please be sure to subscribe and drop a like. And it looks like we got an excellent on the double sizing. We got excellent on the color side, golden brown top, and flaky texture. And yeah, so overall excellent. Got mise en place, everything I showed you, and that's it.